Check road.
Thank you. I just gave my report away. Is this on? Okay. We were relatively active this past month. As the board knows, it approved the Augustine well pad conditional use last month, and that approval has been appealed to court, along with, there was a validity challenge filed to the oil and gas provisions in the zoning ordinance, which was related to the Augustine well approval, and that validity challenge was denied by the zoning hearing board, and that's been appealed to court. We filed a brief in Commonwealth Court supporting the supervisor's prior decision to deny the cell tower. That's pending in Commonwealth Court. There is a zoning appeal that we filed relating to the Sluciac property that's pending in court, in Common Pleas Court. And there's also an eminent domain matter called Durbin that we've moved to dismiss. That is an odd allegation that the board in 1992 improperly approved a subdivision plan that had a pipe underneath the property. We don't think that that's a legitimate claim, and we've moved to dismiss that. It's the end of my report.
Chief?
My microphone's not working. It's more of a question and direction from the board. Last meeting, we mentioned about the false fire alarms. I think we talked to the chiefs, and we are prepared to start enforcing that. But I just need direction from the board, and I think Carol and I understand, but we actually need direction on who's going to be handling the paperwork or sending the notices out. So as I said, Carol and I probably didn't know that answer, but we never got direction from you guys.
Well, I think the first thing we needed was for the fire department to say that was a false alarm, let's say the guardian or something like that. Well, a lot of times it say the detector went off, but technically it might not have been a false alarm because it was doing its job. So is that a false alarm or not? We just need the fire departments to call it to Carol, and if they said it was a false alarm at Milan or something like that.
Okay. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to work with the chiefs, so we want their direction. That's their professionalism. So when they do feel that they're determining that to be a false alarm, they will let Carol know. But we just wanted to make sure Carol was the employee that was going to be overseeing that. And again, whenever there's an issue or a citation that needs to be issued, they'll be consulting with the police department. An officer will go ahead and cite on behalf of the fire department their jurisdiction, and we'll probably need a representative from the fire department to go through again, since that's their expertise.
All right, we understand that if a department sends to us that there was a false alarm, and one of our police officers takes it to the magistrate and we lose, we understand that could happen. So we're not trying to put a burden on you that you have to just under law specifically. If you went out there and it was a false alarm in your estimation and we'll submit it, and we may be successful, we may not. That's always the case.
We're basically citing on information received from them. I mean, we could determine that, obviously the ordinance, but with their professional opinion, it will definitely help. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys are on board. Carol has a lot of responsibility, not only with the police department, I believe she takes a lot on for the township as well.
But she can delegate this, once she gets it, she can delegate it to one of the police officers. But just by the way, the chiefs have told us.
We all know Carol, and she likes to control. And we don't have a problem with that, by the way.
I think we heard that there was one business just opened recently in South Point that had 4 fire alarms in a matter of 24 hours or something like that. 4 false alarms, I mean.
So it needs to be taken care of, yes.
Yeah, so it has to be front and center. Carol, delegate however you need to get them out, but just get them out.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's all I have. Thank you.
Bruce, is there anything on the Public Works? I mean on zoning?
I have nothing further.
All right. Anybody else have any items in particular to bring up?
Yeah, Tom, I had back over at School Street, Hickory Way, the alley behind the post office. I think we need to make that one way. Talked to Dawn a little bit about it today. Do we need to advertise to make this change? To make it a one-way alleyway? The last thing we want is cars and vehicles to come up behind the post office during school hours. I think we're pretty much all in agreement. I talked to Mike Haberman, talked to the chief. What do we have to do about it? Do we have to advertise for an ordinance change to make us a one-way alley?
Typically, if you're going to change a road like that, especially permanently, it would be by ordinance. I'm not sure of the circumstances here, but that would typically be an ordinance.
What if it's
temporary?
There's some discretion, there's some dispensation that's temporary.
Temporary, what do you mean by temporary?
To alleviate traffic during school hours around the Muse Post Office. We all know it's going to be a bottleneck and a cluster over there, and we're trying to alleviate some traffic because if you come up behind the post office on Hickory Way, you have to pull halfway into the drive lane to have visibility to see to go left or right. Yeah, there's potential for accidents.
We said temporary. The schools eventually
Well-
go straight through, the problem will be resolved and it can go back to normal, but until the school resolves that, building the rest of the road down to Muse Bishop Road.
We
need to.
We have options. Either we do it during school hours only, or we just do it permanently for the next 3 years until they tear the Muse Post Office down.
That's temporary.
Right. I'm not, when I think of temporary, I think of a few weeks or something. This sounds like permanently until something else happens.
For 3 years at least, anyway.
Right. I mean, I'm not sitting looking at the code right now, but my feeling on things like this is that you need public advertisement before you make a change in a road. Again, unless it's an emergency, which I don't think we're not saying that here, are we? That it's an emergency of some sort.
Well, we're coming into school season here, August 28th, school will be opening over there.
It's a very restricted sight distance looking left towards East Bishop Road.
The sight distance traffic,
Probably
not what we used to have.
10 feet, and you're looking at the back of the building. You have to actually nose out into the street to have sight distance.
What if we still put up the signs one way, but we still advertise? We don't have to have a hearing for this and an amendment change like this. We just have to publicly advertise it.
Yeah, if you want to do this, if you want to, if you want to do this, pass something tonight, that's fine, but I feel like to make this effective, that we're going to need to vote on it again after there's some kind of notice. There's nobody here. I don't know if anyone's affected by it. Nobody's been notified that this was even on the agenda.
But it's something I think that people who use it and live in that area would understand that.
They're probably in favor of it, but nobody knows.
If you know the area, it needs to be done.
I mean, it wasn't even on the, my point is it wasn't on the
I
agenda.
brought that up years ago. I can't think of how many years, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't know if any present, you probably would have been on the board. I brought that up constantly about you can't see before the school was renovated. It is. It's absolutely horrible. If you use it on a daily basis, which a lot of people do,
It's a short line.
yeah, it's bad.
What if we authorize something tonight to put up signs temporarily until we have an ordinance amendment? And then, again, we don't have to have a hearing, we just have to advertise it. We'll authorize Dawn I guess Dawn to get an ad in the paper, and it'll be on the agenda for a future meeting after we get our 2 weeks of advertising.
I'll make that motion.
All of that, okay. It's been moved, what I just described. Is there a second to that? It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Dawn, Bill,
Mr. Chairman, are you directing me to put up the appropriate sign?
yes, do it now, but we'll have a hearing as soon as we can. It might be at our September meeting. We can have actually, not the hearing, the vote on it, but it'll be advertised publicly.
As soon as I get the signs, I'll have it all right.
Yeah. Good.
Tom, traffic flows would be from the post office to the fire department going that way one way, correct?
Right.
I have another thing, Mr. Chairman. Over at School Street, I went over a lot of these things with Dan Dizeroff, but one other item, there was no ADA handicap ramp on the new sidewalk at the new school coming down the Cherry Way. And Mike Haberman picked that out right away. It wasn't on the radius of the alley, and it wasn't at the end of the sidewalk. They hooked that sidewalk 25 to 30 feet down Cherry Way, and it dead ends into the hillside. And there's no ADA handicap ramp there.
I'll bring it up at the progress meeting tomorrow, Frank.
Thanks, Jeff. The rest of the stuff I pretty much discussed with Dan, and Joe's on top of it.
Thank you, Frank. Anybody else?
Hey, just quickly, 2 topics for the board to consider, and just bring it up publicly. But in regards to the issues of trash, it's had some issues lately, trash pickup. Maybe we should consider splitting the days or splitting the township into 2 different days to allow either 1 or 2 different companies to come in.
Dawn and I met with Waste Management for a second time. Their contract actually ends December 31st of this year, so that's definitely something that we can consider when we put out a bid. But
So
Dawn, would you, and maybe Eric can work with you, and me one more pairing.
I'd like the board, maybe we had an answer by next month's meeting. Just give some thought as to how we can handle that, and even if it's splitting the township with the same refuse company, having them do 2 different days, half the township on a Friday and the other half on a Monday. So what?
Well, hold on 1 second. I don't think we can wait. I think if you want to make that discussion, we have to do it now. Part of the problem that we ran into in our last waste management contract was we waited too long to put the bid out, and then we were basically forced with a very short negotiation time and had to kind of accept what they were giving us. I'm not disagreeing at all, and I think you can talk to anybody at Waste Management, but I've been very tough on them. We've had some disasters going on in the township, but can
The
I
issue
please
was-
finish? No. you-
All right. Well, the point
But the
is,
point is, we can't wait. If you want to have that discussion, I think we need to do it now. I don't think we wait until September because we need to get the
you have to understand, if we dictate terms that are that doesn't work for them, the price will reflect it.
Well, Dawn, is there not another carrier that could handle our department or our township, or maybe half of the township? Whereas Waste Management is the only ones that could handle the township in 1 day, correct?
I have to do some further investigation as to whether or not 2 separate companies can provide the contract. Logistically, I see that as a nightmare for us in-house. But I'll research that.
But it might be a solution to have
But several
2 days.
I'm sure that's something that the township had years ago. There were zones designated in the township, and
Dawn and I made it very clear to Waste Management in both meetings that we were with them that we will not accept a Friday pickup in our next contract. We told them that point blank. Part of the problems that we have is if somebody doesn't pick up your trash on Friday at 4 o'clock because you have to wait through the whole day, you can't get a hold of anybody in the township. If you have a problem on a Monday, you can call first thing Tuesday morning. We can reach out to Waste Management. I'm going to say this publicly. Their 1-800 number is for the birds. It doesn't do anything. But we have direct contact. So we've already told them, the head of Waste Management, that we would not accept a Friday pickup. They tried to argue that part of the reason we were having garbage issues was because their guys their hours at the end of the week, when there's a holiday, were running into problems. I looked at them straight in the face and told them that's not my problem. It's your responsibility to make sure that your manpower can support the contracts that you put out or that you bid on. They understand all of this. My point is, I don't think we wait until September to have this discussion. I would like to see a contract out